What is the similarity of Alphabet and Python? The language conception came from another general-purpose programming language and programming environment called ABC, which was developed in Netherlands, Amsterdam at CWI. It's clear that the programming language ABC influenced the design of Python. And why we are so sure about that? Python was designed and implemented by Guido van Rossum. Its journey began as a hobby in the winter months of 1989. In the late 90s, Guido van Rossum worked on a project called Amoeba at CWI, which was a distributed operating system. During his time there, he gave several interviews admitting that ABC influenced Python. Hear what he said in an interview with Bill Wenners. In the early 1980s, I worked as an implementer on the team-building language called ABC at Centrum voor Wiskunde en Informatica, CWI. I don't know how well people know ABC's influence on Python. I'm trying to mention ABC's influence because I'm indebted to everything I learned during that project and to the people who worked on it. Later on, he adds, I decided to try to design a simple scripting language that processed some of ABC better properties but without its problems. So I started typing. I created a simple virtual machine, a simple parser, and a simple runtime. I made my own version of the various ABC parts that I liked. I created a basic syntax used indentation for statement grouping instead of curly braces or begin-end blocks, and developed a small number of powerful data types as a hash table or dictionary, as we call it, a list, string, and numbers. The name of the language is tremendously popular nowadays, but the selection of the name is actually funny. How funny? It has its roots in British humor. In 1996, the creator of Python wrote about the origins of the name of his language. He concludes that he chose Python as title for the project with a slightly disrespectful disposition, and because he was a big fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Hear what he said. Over 6 years ago, in December of 1989, I was looking for a hobby programming project that would keep me occupied during the week of around Christmas. My office would be closed, but I had a home computer and not much else on my hands. I decided to write an interpreter for a new scripting language I had been thinking about lately, a descendant of ABC that will appeal to Unix C hackers. I chose Python as a working title for the project, being in a slightly irreverent mood and a big fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Python's design philosophy emphasizes code readability with its notable use of significant whitespace. It is another object-oriented language like C++ and Java. Unlike C++, Python is an interpreting language. Guido van Rossum designed Python's interpreter as a virtual machine, like Java Virtual Machine, JVM. Unlike JVM, Python Virtual Machine is an internal implementation detail of Python interpreter. The first version was released in February 1991. This release included exception handling, functions, and core data types and others. It has also object-oriented and had a module system. The next version, Python version 1.0, was released in January 1994. The version was enhanced with functional programming tools like Lambda, MapFilter, and Reduce. Fun fact, Guido van Rossum never liked them. Later on, in October 2000, Python version 2.0 was made its entrance. This release includes list comprehension, a full garbage collector, and the supporting tools for Unicode. For 8 consecutive years, Python 2.x dominated other programming languages until the release of Python 3.0 or Python 3000 or Py3k. As the number of developers familiar with Python 2.0 did not switch immediately, Python 3 became the standard version on January 1st, 2020. Since no new bugs report, fixes or changes will be made to Python 2, and Python 2 is no longer supported after that date. Programmers around the globe have embraced Python and have developed many libraries and programs. Guido van Rossum stated in his History of Python, a large complex system should have multiple levels of extendability. This maximizes the opportunities for users, sophisticated or not, to help themselves. And it's true, the extensibility of Python refers to internet programming, several scripting, computer graphics, visualization, mathematics, computer science education, and many other application areas.